Hey guys, one thing you'll really have to work on is resilience. And resilience works in pretty much the same way as discipline. It's simply remembering what it is that you wanted. When you made that emotional decision to do something or become somebody, and then all of the trials hit you, the test to pretty much prove that you're serious. And this test is just a test that you have to take. And it's not administered by any particular person in the world. It's just what you have to go through to prove that you're serious about what it is that you want and you're willing to pay the price. So when you look at it like that and you take on that perspective with it, it doesn't really bother you. It doesn't make you feel any type of negative way. It's just the price that you pay, and you should be happy to pay it, because most of the world's not paying it, and that's what sets you apart from most of the world, is because you're willing to pay the price. And whether it's physically getting your body in shape, or business-wise improving your income, or your relationships that you have with other people, you're trying to make that better, no matter what it is, if you're willing to pay that price, you will see success. But you got to go through that bumpy phase in the beginning, and then sometimes in the middle, and then eventually right at the end, you got to make a final push. It'll happen. You will face that particular hardship, but you can overcome it. And if you do overcome it, the reward is just on the other side of that victory. So you got to approach life in that way. I have resilience. I will outlast my problems. And you got to be that way all the time, no matter what you're doing. And you will see success. But it's a matter of enduring till the end. Most people don't have that, but you have to have that. You have to display it. That is the price you pay. That is the price of admission. It's lasting through the tough times. And when you build resilience, you'll be able to do that. Resilience is just another form of discipline. Discipline will automatically help you be resilient. But there will be times that you will have habits or just the voices, which are just thoughts in your mind, of saying, give up, don't do it, or we've done enough. Let's just take it easy. Let's take a break. When those voices come, when those thoughts hit your mind, you got to come back full force with, no, I'm not where I want to be. I got more to do. I'm going to pay the price. I don't care how this feels right now. It's worth it, because I've already determined that it was worth it before I even embarked upon this journey. I made the decision that I was going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And you got to talk to yourself in that way. And when you do that, you will start to see that those thoughts, those voices, they get less and less and less influential on you. They almost go silent. They just crop up every now and then. And when they do, you can beat them back down to the point that eventually those thoughts don't even crop up in your mind. It's crazy. They just don't. You have them less and less and less. I can remember a time when I was trying to get my weight where I wanted it, and just trying to live life with a caloric deficit. It was really hard in the beginning because I didn't realize I had so many bad eating habits. I told you once in a video earlier that I worked out for a year straight, not missing a day. I almost did that just to prove to myself that I could do it. I wasn't even focused on how I looked in the mirror. I did want to feel better, so I was focusing on that. But I was just focusing on just having the discipline to do it. I want to prove to myself I could do it. So I didn't really study nutrition, sleeping, none of that stuff. I wasn't even paying attention to any of that. So needless to say, I didn't look a whole lot better, but I did feel better. I felt a whole lot better. And my confidence went up because I proved to myself that I could do something that I set out to do that I had never really done before. So that part of it was great. But when I tried to do the caloric deficit as far as intake, I felt really hungry a lot because I still hadn't studied nutrition. It's just something about me. Sometimes when I do things, I just like to take the bull by the horns and just do it without really studying a whole lot. I'm learning to get better at that though. I'm actually a whole lot better than I used to be. But here's why I was that way. I always felt like if I would try to figure out everything in advance, then I would never get anything done. So I was always that type who go ahead and just do it. So now I kind of blended a little bit. So since then I found out how to eat better to where I don't really feel that way anymore. But when I was doing that, I was trying to lift and eat right, get my nutrition down. Again, I hadn't really learned all the snacks you can eat and everything like that. So I just did everything cold turkey. I just did it really hard. I remember going to the gym one day. It's so crazy. Thinking, man, if that scale, that scale doesn't reflect the hard work I've done over the past week, boy, it's not going to be good. And that was just a thought in my head. And I got in there and looked in the gym. It's so funny. I looked at the scale and I was 216. And when I had started my journey, I was like 220. And I know I wanted to get down to about 210 by a certain point, and then eventually 200, and then a little bit below that. But I hadn't even really hit my first mile marker. And I saw that scale, it said 216. And after all that work I'd done. But you know how I reacted? It's funny in a way, it's something I still learn from today. I said, you know what, big boy, all that means is you've got to change your approach and you got to keep doing what you're doing at the same time. It's almost like you're building an airplane in the air while it's flying. And I came back with such resolve that I tore the gym up that day. I really did. I think I worked on my arms and my chest, but I really, really put in the work. I focused in on my form a whole lot that day. And from then on, I have been able to get done what I wanted to get done and not really be tripped up by that particular aspect of it. And that's what I'm saying about resilience. When you develop resilience, life really becomes a game. And that's where you want it. You want it to be that way, to where every time you overcome a test or you overcome a trial, that you're better off because of it. And you just live your life from one peak to the next peak, that you'll never ever get to the point to where you're satisfied, but at the same time, you never get to the point where you're so beat down that you can't go out and attempt to strive to become better.